going on? What's going on, guys? We are on our way to work, and I am going to be doing a night shift. Alright, so today is going to be night 6 out of 6 for me. For those who don't know, I am an internal medicine resident, and what I was going to say. Alright, so I'm an internal medicine resident, and currently they have me on night shifts. Oop, let me forget to fix my scrub cap. Alright, so anyways, I'm on my internal medicine night shift rotation, and unfortunately they have me on nights again, but it's okay. Why? Because this is actually going to be the last week of nights that I have to do for the rest of my residential career. So round of applause, let me get that going. Anyways, so typically with night shift, you know, we are working, I would say, 12-hour shifts guaranteed. Obviously you want to get there a little bit earlier, and then on top of getting there a little bit earlier, you want to, you know, prepare yourself, make sure you're well rested, make sure you're well fed, etc. So in reality, if you start at 7 p.m. on a night shift, you should really be leaving your home, obviously depending on how far you live from the hospital, leave your home around, I would say, like 6 o'clock, 6:15. Just in case, you know, there's traffic on the way to work. It's like a 20-30 minute drive. And then also, what's it called? In case you want to stop somewhere and get some food, right? Like, you can't do a night shift when you're hungry. It's just, we just don't do that, right? Anyways, so typically it's 12-hour shifts. You finish around 7 a.m. in the morning, but then at 7 a.m. is when you do sign out to the oncoming team. And so once you do sign out on the oncoming team, you then get to leave. So really, you're not leaving at like 7 a.m. You're probably leaving around closer to 7:30, 7:45. So essentially, I just call it a 13-hour shift, to be honest. The latest I can leave my house is 6:30 in the morning, and then the earliest I usually leave in the morning is like 7:30 a.m. So 13-hour shift, not including, you know, your drive to and from work. But anyways, this is night 6 out of 6 for me. Feeling good, honestly. It's crazy. Like the first 5 nights that I did do, I would come home, and obviously I'm a morning person, so it's difficult for me to fall asleep right away. And so instead of falling asleep, what I would end up doing though, just, you know, try to make some breakfast, watch TV or something, maybe talk to one of my friends or whatever, whoever's up at the time, honestly, and then go to sleep. And then I have trouble sleeping. I take melatonin, but sometimes it takes like 10, 15, 20 minutes to get kicked in. And so eventually I probably don't sleep till like maybe 9 a.m., 10 a.m. in the morning. And then I wake up around 3 p.m., 4 p.m. because I really can't sleep more than 5 or 6 hours. And then I'm kind of just lounging around. Like I'm up, but I'm not actually fully up. And so I end up just, you know, chilling in the house, not really doing much. Until I have to go back to work again. However, tonight I decided to do something different, and I woke up around like 3:30 p.m. this afternoon. I laid in bed for like an hour, and I said, you know what, Femi, you've not gone to the gym in at least 2-3 weeks. And the thing is, I was only on nights for like 1 week, so if I'm not going to the gym, it's nothing to do with me being on nights. It's just me not being, it's me being a big back and just relaxing. But anyways, so I decided to go to the gym today. I went to the gym, stayed there for like an hour and a half. I was playing basketball, a couple good runs, not bad. But the thing, I know what you're thinking, it's like, why would I ever want to go to the gym like right before a night shift after I've been working 5 nights in a row? It's now my 6th night in a row, and now's the time you decide to go to the gym to play basketball at that, a strenuous sport. Like, it's like, why would you do that? But you know, I did it anyways. It's fine. I'm not even mad at it. But because I did that, I didn't have time to eat, and so I decided, you know, you have to treat yourself. In fact, that's going to be the first lesson, right? In medicine, you need to treat yourself. It's not healthy for you to work so hard and not treat yourself. And for that reason, I'm going to Wendy's. Hey, how you doing? I had a mobile order for MO.
Mobile order for MO?
Yes, ma'am.
You pull around.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
And it's so nice here too. Like, really, if this was like McDonald's, like they'll probably be mean, rude. What can I get you? We don't have that. It's broken. You know what I'm saying? Like, Wendy's is not like that. I feel as if Wendy's is more authentic. I feel like Wendy's is, I feel like it's Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A's, well, not even really, because Chick-fil-A, they're really nice people. Don't get me wrong. Most Chick-fil-A workers, I love them. They're really nice people. The only thing is, sometimes they can get a little bit snobby. And I'm just like, actually, not even snobby. Snobby's not the word I'm trying to say. Sorry, apologize. Pressure. I'm running late for work. So the thing with Chick-fil-A is sometimes I feel like they're like faking it, you know? And obviously, who am I to say somebody's faking it? I don't really know. But it's like, no one's that happy all the time. Like, how you doing? Can I get an extra ketchup and sweet and sour sauce? Can I get extra ketchup and sweet and sour sauce? Alright, thank you so much. Ooh, everything is neatly packaged. I like that. Oh! I know people say that McDonald's has the best fries, but Wendy's is honestly not too far off. How much traffic will there be until I get to work? 21 minutes. Not bad. Okay, so I'll still get to work on time. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. So anyways, let's talk about medicine, really. Give me 1 second. Ooh, boy, look at you. Looking like 1968. Like I said, this is like my 6th night in a row that I'm doing. Last night wasn't too bad. And, you know, usually I would say this, right? Most people work 40 hours in a week, right? If they work more than 40 hours, it's considered overtime. Luckily, if you're in healthcare, a lot of these shifts that you do overnight, you actually get them done in 12 hours a day. So technically, your 40-hour week is usually done in like 3 days, because three days worth of 12-hour shifts, that's 36 hours. And obviously, like I said earlier, you don't always leave. You don't always leave after 12 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes this really becomes like a 13-hour shift. In some really bad cases, your shift might even be 14 or 15 hours. Okay. So the point is, you do your full-hour work week or whatever in 3 days. In residency, though, someone had the bright idea. And we thank them, obviously, because we love these bright ideas, right? Someone had the bright idea to say, hey, if you're a medical resident and you're going to be a physician, you need to be tough. You need to have the mental fortitude to do something that no one will ever do, including your attendings who've already completed residency. We want you to work 6 days in a row, or 6 nights in a row, 12 to 13-hour shifts, and do that all in 1 week. And it's like, excuse me? So essentially, you're doing 72 hours in 1 week. Nights, back to back, no breaks in between. And that's the lowest. I can tell you right now, every time I've done 6 nights, I've never just done 72 hours. Because I'm always coming in earlier, because, you know, you have to get signed out, and it takes a while. You can't start your day without sign out. And I'm also leaving later because you have to sign out again to the other team that's coming on. So I gotta let them know, hey, this is what happened with your patients overnight. These are the patients I admitted. This is what I would want you to do, and you guys can figure out the plan from there. So you're never leaving at 7 a.m. in the morning when you're supposed to leave. You're leaving at 7:30, 7:45, 8 o'clock, and that's usually typical. But sometimes you might end up leaving later. The latest I've ever had to leave, thankfully, and I'm quick to be honest, but the latest I've ever left was around 8:30, maybe 8:40 in the morning. That was the latest. But usually I try to get out of there as soon as I can. But anyways, last night, go back to it. So last night was night 5 out of 6 for me. So tonight is night 6 out of 6. But last night wasn't bad at all. Everything was calm in the hospital. We got a couple calls from the nurses. Well, at least I got a couple calls regarding patients that, some of the orders weren't put in correctly. Patients were having additional pain. So, I was giving pain medications, putting like sleep medications. Someone pulled out an NG tube, so we had to replace the NG tube, ordering a couple images. Nothing too crazy. The thing that I didn't really like, though, was the fact that I was getting admissions late and back to back. And that's the problem. So typically, I would say if you get an admission in a hospital, from the moment you get the notification that you got the admission to the moment you typically square things away and you already seen the patient, assess them, figure out a plan, put the orders in, medications, all that stuff. Usually about an hour to an hour and a half, give or take. Sometimes you can be slower, take 2 hours, it's fine. Or you can be quicker and take 1 hour, that's not a problem. So it takes about a bit of time to do so. What frustrates me, I would say, is that I am getting some of these admissions really, really late. I'm coming in at 7 o'clock. I'm here for 5-6 hours. It's now 1 a.m. in the morning. And all of my spark when I enter the hospital is already dwindling down. And that's when you want to start hitting me with all these different admissions. And it's very difficult. And I feel like that's probably the most, or at least one of the most difficult parts of night shift, right? You have to, your body's already fighting against the grain by being up late at night. And now on top of being up late at night, you now have to actually work and put your brain to the test. And the worst part about it is that it's usually not at the beginning of your shift, but it's usually halfway through or towards the end. That's like saying you work a typical 9 to 5. You try to get if you work at 9 to 5, right? You try to get most of your 9 to 5 work done in the morning. So between 9 to 12, before lunchtime, because everyone knows after lunch, your body's dwindling down, you're going to sleep, right? However, imagine if someone said, hey, you work a 9 to 5, but the first 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours, even after you ate your lunch, you're just kind of chilling, not doing much. But then when your body wants to dwindle down because you just ate lunch, you've been at work for about 4 or 5 hours already, around 2 or 3 p.m., that's when you start getting hit with a bunch of work. It's like, hey, we need you to do this, we need you to do this, we need you to do this, can you do this, can you do this, can you come speak to this person? It's like, whoa. You guys had all shift to do that for me, and now is when you want to do that. And the thing is, with hospital medicine, you can't really complain because you never know when someone's gonna get sick or when there's gonna be an accident on a highway, car crash, some type of assault or whatever. You never know when these things are gonna happen. People don't control. People don't say, hey, I feel sick. You know what? I'm gonna wait till 3 p.m. to feel sick and then go to the hospital. Or I'm gonna wait till 4 a.m. and wake myself out of sleep so I can take myself to the hospital. People don't do that. If they do, those people should be banned. Shame on those people if they do that. If you're someone who waits until a certain period of time to go get sick or time it out so you get an excuse note or whatever, shame on you. So for the bulk of last night, I actually was doing a bunch of cross cover. Usually just during the beginning first, for the most of it, honestly, up until 1 a.m. I would say, I was doing a bunch of cross cover duties, and that's when I started getting admissions. I got the first admission, it was cool, not a problem. It was, I can't remember what case it was. I think it was maybe a heart failure exacerbation case. So that was fine, I handled it. And then, the next admission came maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours later. It was fine. Because I had enough time to finish admitting the other patient, so it wasn't even mad at all. So I did that, handled that. They came after that. So the first one came around 1. The second patient came around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I want to say, that patient, car accident. Yep. So remember those car accidents I was telling you about? This patient had a car accident, broke their foot, and needed to come to the hospital to just get medical managed, probably operation, etc. And so that was cool. What kind of got me upset, choking on this fry. What kind of got me upset was after I got the admission for that car accident around 4 o'clock, 4:30 I think, 45 minutes later I get another admission. I'm like, oh, okay, you guys are giving it to me back to back, not a problem. I can take it. Then afterwards, 30 minutes later, I get another call for another admission. And so I'm like, dude, what is going on here? I got the admission at 1 o'clock, that's fine. Then I got a admission at 4:30. Then I got a admission at 5:15. Then I got a admission at 5:45. And my shift, mind you, ends at 7 a.m. So you giving me all these patients so close to 7 a.m., you know it's going to be delayed. There's no way I can see all those patients, evaluate, put the orders in, create an effective plan. You know what I'm saying? I can't do all those things so quickly. I still gotta talk to the patient and, you know, figure out the story, like what happened, what led them to come to the hospital. I gotta figure all those things out. And you're trying to like hit me with all these patients. Like, you gotta slow it down. And obviously, I'm not saying that patients shouldn't come to the hospital. No, come to the hospital if you're sick. However, we need to spread it apart so that one physician isn't, you know, getting all these admissions very last minute. Because at the end of the day, it's like, if one physician is getting it, you're going to be more prone to mistakes. I'll say that. You'll be more prone to mistakes. You'll feel pressured and rushed. And 3, you might not spend as much time as you want with the patient, talking to them to kind of get an idea of what brought them in. You know what I mean? So it's like all these things. It's just like, come on, like spread it out. If you have like 4 physicians in the hospital overnight, each physician should take one in turn and go from there. Or I don't know. If one physician, you know, is backed up right now, like switch it over to another physician, let them get an admission. As long as it's fair, though, you know, always carry your own weight. I don't like when people don't carry their own weight. That's one of my biggest pet peeves in the hospital. It's like, hey, you're a physician, I'm a physician as well. You need to carry your own weight. Like, there's no reason why you're falling behind and, what's it called? You're falling behind constantly. Like, if you, once in a while, everyone falls behind, that's fine. But you're constantly, every single time I work with you, you're falling behind and I'm taking up more patients than you. It doesn't make sense. No. You need to be able to hold your weight. All in all, I think night shift is really not that bad, honestly. I actually feel like I do more work when I'm working days than I do when I'm working nights. I'll just be honest. I truly believe that. I think what makes night shift so difficult is the fact that it is night shift. Like, everybody in this I'm driving around right now, they're likely going home, going to a party, to a club, watch a movie, maybe dinner, to relax. And here I am going just to start my day. The sun is literally down right now, and I am going to be up for the next arguably 13, 14 hours. I hate it. And that's what makes night shift difficult, especially when you're doing nights back to back. It's not for the weak. And that is the reason why they pay so much more if you do nights. They pay you a lot more money if you do night shift because they know nobody wants to do it. They know it's physically taxing on your body, even on your mind, honestly. A lot of times you'll see like young professionals or healthcare workers, because I don't know, I can't really speak to other fields. But often you'll see like young professionals that are doing night shift because, you know, they're usually single, no kids, or honestly they're just so young that they're hungry for the money and they'll pay more. I really, really do not like night shift. And I'll tell you this. I'm looking at contracts, right? Because I'm finishing residency. I would rather, if someone offered me, let's say, $200,000 to be a day shift physician, I would say, sure, why not? Go nuts, I don't care. Huh? If they said, wait a minute, Dr. Femi, I will offer you $250,000 to do night shift instead, I will say no, thank you. I am good, young sir. If they offered me $275,000, I will still say the same thing. No, thank you. Cheerio. Have a good night, sir. If they offer me like $300,000, then that's when I have to stop consideration. If they say Dr. Femi, I will offer you $300,000, I'll say, interesting. Leave it with my secretary. I shall get back to you in the morning, or I'll get back to you on the morrow. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of nights, to be honest. Because when you think about all the money you make when you do a night shift, you also have to think about all the time you lose. And time is probably the most expensive thing time is the most expensive thing in the world. And the reason why it's so expensive is because it's not for sale. It's impossible. No one in the history of the world has ever bought time back. You just can't. Once you use it, you lose it. So it's truly invaluable. And the issue with night shift is that you might be working the night shift, but most people in your life are probably going to be doing something in the daytime. And that's it's difficult, you know. most of your friends, your family, your kids, your wife, your girlfriend, your fiance, all are going to be working likely during the day. And so you having to go against the grain like that all the time, you're going to be exhausted. And then when you finally get off your night shift rotations or weeks or whatever, it's like you have to then adjust. There's going to be in a period of time where you want to adjust back to the days so that you can accommodate your friends and families, right, and your loved ones. So when you finish it, so for if you finish a night shift, it's like you still have to, say you're a nurse, so you do 3 night shifts in a row, you still need to use like at least one day usually to recover partially to get yourself going, then one other day to actually like do full reversal and go back to like days where you're like alert, interactive, you're sleeping on time, you're not staying up to the wee hours of the night, all that stuff. So it takes time to adjust there. And then by the time you do that, it's day 5. And so then guess what? You only have 2 more days before you have to go back to work again. And so you just kind of wasted 2 days really trying to get yourself back on track with everyone else. Night shift is good for those who are loners, who don't have a lot of friends, or don't want to have friends. You know, I'm a loner. I don't really have many friends either, but it's fine. Night shift is good for those who are like, you know, perfect homebodies, people who might be in a relationship where their partner is okay with them just being a nighttime worker, you know? Or honestly, I'll be real with you, it's also good for those who are just ready to grind, who don't care, they just want to hustle, they don't care about losing 2 days as long as they're making more money. But the general theme is most people in healthcare, they end up going to days at some point in time. Like, I don't know a single person who's done night shift their entire healthcare career, you know? Like no one, I can't name anyone that started as a nighttime healthcare worker and has never done a lick of days. Most people switch over to days, and it's completely understandable because, like I said, night shift is terrible. This food is busting right now. Another thing with night shift that I don't like, you can't, it's almost impossible to eat healthy in night shift. It just is. Because one, eating at night is not good for you. Your body is usually not as active, your metabolism is not moving as quickly or as efficiently. It's usually just not a good idea. And so night shift, what ends up happening is because you're up, you end up having to eat at a later time than you would want to. And usually the options of food that are open usually aren't good for you. On top of that too, you're trying to stay awake as much as you can, and so by trying to stay awake, you're eating whatever's available, and sometimes eating when you're not even hungry. And so what are you gonna eat when you're not hungry? You eat excess food. You're taking up excess calories. So it's a lot to it. Honestly, it's a lot to it. So add that to the reason why I don't like it. See, I'm only eating Wendy's now too because I'm on night shift actually. Let that sink in for a bit. So I made it to the parking deck. It's just that looks like there's some traffic holding us up. Probably somebody who's trying to get into the garage, but forgot their gate key. And so because they don't have their gate key, they can't really open the gate, and now it's holding the rest of us up. So now we're all going to be late for work because someone forgot their gate key. And also, isn't it so atrocious that I have to pay for parking at the hospital? Like literally, like money comes out of my check, each check. So I get 2 checks a month. Money comes out of my check each week that I get paid to pay for this parking. It's like I'm here to make money for you guys, and you guys are taking money from me as well. Again, ridiculous, man. We don't get anything free working at the hospital, right? Not only do we have to pay for our parking, but we also pay for health insurance too. Like most jobs, when you work there, you get some sort of benefit, right? You get something. Like if you're working at McDonald's, you should get, a free meal, for instance. If you're working at, let's say Dell, like for computers, you should get some sort of free, not really free Dell computer, but you get like a discount price of 40%. Everyone knows about the Best Buy discount. You work at Apple, you get like a discounted Apple item or something like that. All these different companies, they give you something free or something discounted. The hospital doesn't give you any of that. Literally. The hospital literally doesn't. It makes you pay for your own healthcare. It's like, hey, I'm providing healthcare for these people and I still don't get any healthcare? Come on, man. How do you reach these kids? One thing that I would say that I like about working night shift, especially at a hospital, is that the whole issue about finding parking is never really a thing, right? Like, there's always parking available when you work night shift. It's just because, like I said, more than like 70% of the hospital is not actively working, and so you have all this you have a plethora of free spaces, and I'm going to choose my fill. All right, guys, so I just made it to the hospital. I finally parked, and I'm about to go and enjoy these next 13 hours. But am I really gonna enjoy it? No. But the thing is, this is actually gonna be the last night shift I'm doing for the rest of my residency career. So round of applause to me. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna knock this shift out, and I will see you guys in the morning. Definitely want to get into, you know, doing this a little bit more, because it's kind of like a diary for me to kind of keep track of my thoughts as I'm going through it. Kind of wish I started, you know, when I was an intern, but you know, it's fine, we're here now. But still trying to figure out the structure of these videos, because as you can tell, I'm kind of like all over the place. But I'm just trying my best here. I'm just a physician. What can I do?